I found out you worked at the golf course and fucking blew her load.
That's right, folks. Live here at Free Admissions, this is the Gym Crashers with Dondo and Sean from our Live CBD.
And Nuestra Vida. And, right, straight out of Mexico.
Yeah, we're worldwide now.
He's worldwide. Sean's mic is off. Let's launch it. Just click the button. Click the button.
Bam.
Sean, he's live
And
now.
we're on.
Mexican production. We got it going. It's all good, though. But, yeah, we're here live. We got Sean. He's ready to talk about all kind of new product.
Yeah, we got all kinds of new products. First off, we've recently launched a new brand called Nuestra Vida in Mexico. We're definitely very proud of that. We got some distribution out in Mexico City and Guadalajara, so that's really nice. We're going back to Mexico City coming up. I believe it's going to be October 4th through the 11th for Puro Centro. And we're actually going, this is the Nuestra Vida products. We have actually 6 tinctures on the Nuestra Vida side, and we have a menthol ointment also. So really excited about that. When we went to Mexico for the first time for Puro Centro, it was really cool because going over there, seeing the void in Mexico for good quality CBD.
I'm jealous, man. I'm
so
jealous.
yeah, man, we created the company and started getting some distribution out there, and we've got nothing but positive feedback.
The capital, Mexico City,
Yes,
and then the
sir.
second capital, Guadalajara.
Yep. And then we're actually going to be in TJ coming up on Memorial Day weekend. There's an event out there called Elite Submission League.
ESL,
And then
baby.
ESL. There's going to be seminars on Friday night in TJ. ESL is going to be in Saturday in it's
Rosarito.
in Rosarito, and then on Sunday they're going to do Combat Jiu-Jitsu Mexico back in TJ. So it'll be a fun-filled weekend. I believe the weekend after that, the weekend after that we're going to be at 10 Planet headquarters for the trials also. So
Yes, we will.
we're just on a mission.
We're conquering as much territory as we possibly can, but
Definitely.
busy. I'm dizzy. We got some really cool labels. You can barely see them here, but you can see that Save the Brave, which
We
is
got Save the Brave products. We are blessed to be able to partner up with Save the Brave, which is a veteran-owned organization. What they do is their main focus used to be taking veterans out on fishing trips to help them with PTSD.
That's freaking cool.
And get that brotherhood going. Well, since we were talking to them, I saw what they were doing, and we had an opportunity to work together. So what we did is we created a tincture for them. It's a Blue Dream flavor with CBG, 2,000 milligrams of CBD and 1,000 milligrams of CBG for a total of 3,000 milligrams. Also has terpenes in it with the Blue Dream flavor. Really, really good. Cool thing about that is we're going to be working with them for a tournament. They have a tournament coming up at the end of the month, August 28th and 29th. There's going to be kids, all belt levels to be able to compete. The great thing about this tournament is what they're doing with their jiu-jitsu side is they're trying to build up the tournament because their goal is to be able to pay for veterans, pay for their tuition fees for their schools. And I know there's some other organizations out there. One of the things that they're doing a little bit different is they're paying for the veterans regardless of the belt. So they could be a blue belt, purple belt,
pretty
brown
cool.
belt, no matter what the belt is. If they need help, they're going to be trying to help out. So the other really cool thing is that, hey Robert, can you pull up the rash guard? They're giving away a free rash guard for everybody who signs up.
This
so as
is
you can
sick.
see, Save the Brave rash guards. So those are free to all the people signing up. Also, they're going to be offering free food that is going to be for all the competitors, and that's going to be catered from Bastard's Canteen. From Southgate. So they're going to be having some barbecue out there, pulled pork, getting everybody fed and taken care of. One thing, if you want to register for this tournament, black belts all register for free. We'll make sure Robert puts up a link a little bit later for the registration. If not, you can just go on savethebrave.org and find the registration from there.
the sponsors was Save the Brave, of course, but Our Life CBD, Live Jits.
Our Life CBD, Live Jits.
Right.
And then also we have, they're having the event at San Pedro Fight Club, so we definitely want to thank Six Blades and
Six
Brian,
Blades, yep.
for helping out with that too.
Sensei Brian Mendez.
Yeah, Brian
always
Mendez
doing
is
his
amazing.
thing
The
for
guy's awesome.
veterans. Yes.
And the one thing I wanted to mention before I forgot too is if you are going to sign up and you need some help, use the code RLifeCBD, all one word, and you could save 50% off your registration.
That's huge, man.
So when you think about this, the registration was $100 and $99. Now we're talking $50 plus a rash guard. Rash guard by itself is $50. So you're gonna get a meal, gonna get to compete, and a rash guard for $50. You cannot go wrong. Not only that, you're supporting a good cause. So.
Yep. And being out there in San Pedro is a unique experience. The dojo itself was an old theater. The seating in there is really cool. The mats are bitchin'. Obviously, you're going to get high-level competition. And then supporting the cause. Save the Brave. If you're all about that cause, which we are, which Bastard's Canteen is, and I'm certain that Six Blades is all about that too. So come support, get involved, partner up with us. If you got things that you want to also let us know about and bring to the attention of people in the community, let us know, because we want to partner with you as well. That's a big thing for us as partnerships.
Yeah, community is very important. I mean, that's the only reason why I feel blessed that we were able to go to Mexico and actually,
It's huge, man.
get some stuff going over there, is simply because of the jiu-jitsu community. I mean, go over there and roll.
This guy, he's been there, done that. He's done
I can't wait to go back.
Intrum and TJ. Grapplers from Hell in Mexico City. What was Guadalajara? What'd you do there?
Guadalajara, I actually did. We didn't roll over there because we had the event all week, and then they were setting up before the event. But another place we rolled over there in Mexico City is a good friend of ours too. His top brother, Angel Gomez, over there. Really good guy. Itzel's she's with Z Team over there in Mexico City. Also, she is the first Mexican female black belt in Mexico City that's of Mexican descent that's still in Mexico.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, really cool. And then we also went to Coco Fuego over there and trained over there, so that was really fun. So basically, the community, like I was saying, man, no matter where you go, whether it's here, over there, the community is phenomenal.
He lives it. This dude lives it. He's
Once
choking.
You roll with them, you love it. They all love it.
He's That's right. He's choking. I'm broken. That's how we operate. But he's doing his thing, and he rolls probably more often and with more people than anybody I know.
I try to get in at least 5 days a week, you know.
But everybody does their home school. You're out doing your thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm at my home school a lot, but we work with a lot of people, so I constantly feel almost an obligation to go out and roll and have some fun, man, and do what I love. And I'm blessed that obviously I don't have to buy the CBD because that's what keeps me going too.
Thank God for that.
I am 45 years old, so I mean, you know, got to keep it going.
Young and 45. I would take back those 5 years in a heartbeat.
For sure. Well, I do want to talk about something else real quick. Aside from, we do have some other new products aside from the Nuestra Vida, the stuff from Mexico. We just launched, or are in the middle of launching, the products for Save the Brave that we talked about. Also, we have 6 different oils that are actually specific for an effect. So we have 2 of them that are actually energy. They will provide an energy. They'll give you an energy feeling. So they're perfect for those times. Like a lot of people tell me, you know what, I want to take CBD during the day when I'm at work because I'm really anxious. I'm really stressed out at work, but I'm scared to take CBD because I don't want to be tired and kind of fall asleep. This is a perfect solution for that. So our energy comes in 2 amazing flavors. So the first one is Fruity Pebbles. Tastes exactly like Fruity Pebbles.
It does.
The second one is a lemon cheesecake, and it tastes phenomenal, just like lemon cheesecake.
Is that a CBG or a CBN that gives it the energy? Tell me about that.
No, actually, so these ones are multiple cannabinoids, though. So the energy is going to be 1,000 milligrams of CBG and 1,000 milligrams of CBD. So it is a combination of cannabinoids in the oil. But what does give the effect is going to be the terpenes. So the terpenes provide 2 things. They provide a flavor, but also with that flavor, they provide an effect.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, and then so on the energy side, like I said, we have the Fruity Pebbles and lemon cheesecake. Then we have another focus. So give you a perspective of how I use it. In the morning, I wake up about 4 or 5 in the morning. Take the energy, whether it be the lemon cheesecake or the Fruity Pebbles. Then I train at about 9 or 10 o'clock. Right before training, I take the focus because I really want to, be attentive when I'm training. So when I take the focus, the 2 options on focus are Mimosa and Blue Dream. Woo. These 2 flavors are phenomenal also, but once again, the effect. I mean, if you need to go home and you got some work to take care of and you want to focus on doing that work, this is where it really helps me too, because when I get done training, I obviously go home, shower, and then have to focus on doing work. So that allows me to really kind of knock stuff out and get a lot of stuff done during the day. And then at the end of the day, at night, right before I go to bed, we do have a few options. So we have CBN, which is our calm. So it has 500 milligrams of CBN and 1,000 milligrams of CBD. Also, the terpenes in those are calming terpenes. The terpenes for those, or the flavors in those, are pineapple whip, and then also
whip. I love that.
Pineapple whip, and then also strawberry cheesecake. So we have one last new tincture. I know we've got a lot of new stuff, and it is actually Delta 8 THC. So it is Delta 8 is actually a precursor to Delta 9. Delta 9 is cannabis THC, which gets you high. It is psychoactive, right? So Delta 8 is derived from hemp. So the way it's actually extracted is from the hemp plant, but it is a Delta 9 and it is psychoactive. And we've actually put 1,500 milligrams of that in a 30 milliliter dropper. Wow. So per serving, you're getting about 50 milligrams of Delta 8 THC, also coupled with terpenes to help you help calm you down. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from all these different products for all the specific needs. People working, utilizing the focus and the energy, and then also allowing people to sleep through the night and get a good night's sleep, or kind of just knock out. Now, I do want to mention one thing. All of our products are all isolates. So the CBG and CBD are all isolates, with the exception, and the CBN are isolates, with exception to the Delta 8. The Delta 8 is a distillate, and Delta 8 is a THC. So there is a potential chance, if you are getting tested, that you should be leery of that particular product.
Be careful.
Be careful with it. But if not, if you're not being tested and it's, your job doesn't depend on it, then it is a great option, because what it's going to do, it's not going to be as sedative as a regular THC, but it'll definitely do the job and calm you down. Kind of, to be perfectly honest with you, on Sunday night, I take that back. It was last night. We went to 10 Planet headquarters, got home about 11 o'clock. I actually took two droppers myself of the Delta 8, and this morning I was a little late to class.
Woo.
Actually, I missed.
I heard that from someone else too. They were a little late to class themselves. In fact,
So,
they ditched class altogether.
So it actually works.
I'll tell you what, I can give my own personal testimony in that when I take Our Life CBD, it actually causes me to go into a REM state, which is not commonly something I do. I sleep very lightly. I can hear a car drive by. I can hear footsteps. Little things wake me up. But when I take Our Life CBD to calm down and to rest, I actually go into REM, actually dream lucid dreams and remember them. So if that's something you've not done in a while as an adult, because stress, anxiety, things that jobs bring on, that families bring on, that life brings on, it's one of the reasons I recommend it to people when they talk to me about the product, is because recovery is essential for anybody who trains and anybody who is in a high-level stress job, which most of us are, and you need that kind of rest to recover and be ready for the next day.
100%.
And
Yeah.
lucid dreams are something else. I tell you what goes on in my mind, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm scared.
That's a whole other podcast. I do talk about it occasionally with these guys, but they don't want to hear it anymore. They've heard it all before. But it's good stuff. I recommend it. And then one thing we didn't talk about, Sean, that I think is crucial, because of joint pain, because of the onset of arthritis, things of that nature,
Yes.
we have the ointments. We talked
Yeah.
about the oils, but the ointments are game changers. And recently I've heard even people tell me that it's immediate. Sometimes
Yeah.
you put in an ointment, it takes a while.
Yeah, in reality, I mean, I'll be honest about that. The immediate results are going to be all the essential oils.
Okay.
Because it does take about 15 minutes on average for the CBD to kick in. So after 15 minutes, those effects you're going to feel, or the lack of pain usually that people feel, that's when the CBD kicks in. Prior to that, usually it's the essential oils, the menthol, some of the things like that, because of the organic menthol crystals and things like that we put in there. When I actually formulated these products, especially the menthol and the ointments, it was all about trying to find the essential oils that are best for anti-inflammation. Couple that with a high dose of CBD, and then also with all the butters: mango butter, shea butter, cocoa butter, argan oil, arnica oil, coconut oil, and then a little bit of beeswax to kind of keep it together. So really, that's really what it is using the best quality products for everything that we use, everything that we do. One thing I'm blessed about is that we've been in the CBD game a while. We work with a lot of high-level athletes in the MMA and jiu-jitsu community, and throughout the time we've been working in the community, I've heard a lot of things about CBD. People telling me that, I've tried CBD. Prior to trying your CBD, I didn't believe CBD worked.
Yeah.
And that's really because what we've done is it's very important to us to have a high standard, utilize the best products, and then also have some of the most potent products out there.
Mm-hmm.
So these are only some of the new products that I'm showing you today. We still have our old CBD oils, which are just CBD and MCT oil, ranging from anywhere from 750 milligrams to 6,000 milligrams. Once again, the highest on the market that I know of. But the products work, and they're tested by the people who really need them.
Yeah.
And can use it on a consistent basis. So that's what's most important. It might be fine, or something might work or suffice for a short amount of time, but over the long term, how long can you alleviate that pain? So what we've seen is it works consistently, and I guess I'm proof of it myself.
Well, if I might say, and I'm a part of what Sean does, we love his products, but it's the most visible product out there, the shirts, the labels, the product itself, whether we're at jiu-jitsu or MMA events, the fighters themselves are enough to tell you. We don't need to say it. So it's there. It's available. It's ourlifecbd.com. It's Nuestra Vida. You know, you can DM my man here, DM Jim Crashers. We'll get you in touch with who you need to get in touch with for product. But definitely look at the website because there's a plethora of options that suit your needs. As you can see right in front of us, not only flavors and not only different dosages and different sizes of bottles, but there's something for just about everybody. And that's what it's all about, is making sure that the people that need it are accommodated with what they can actually utilize and help them get back to the normal action and involvement of things that they do, whether it be contact sports or just trying to get to work in the morning because your fingers hurt.
That's really what it is, man. Everybody can use it, and the great thing is utilizing something that's all natural. You don't have to worry about having these other effects later on. Even if you're just taking Tylenol, Advil, I mean, over time, if you're taking that consistently, you know, there can be some ill effects later on. So the beautiful thing about this is all natural. And, you know, what I think is most important, once again, is just a simple fact that we are tried, true, and tested. Number one, all lab tested. All the products are the best products, like I said. Because of that, we've been able to keep that name, and I think that's what allowed us to stay recognizable, even throughout COVID, throughout all these, no matter what situation.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it be any MMA event, jiu-jitsu event, we were still around, and we still are around, and we aren't going anywhere. And if anything, this is a time to expand. Like we go to Mexico and Brazil's pretty soon. We're looking at some things for Brazil.
Going further south.
It won't be very long. We're conquering it all.
And it's pretty amazing because I've been to a lot of events where Sean had his booth up and he had lines of people just buying all of his stuff, asking questions. And of course, if you want to approach Sean, he's a great guy to talk to. He has all the knowledge in the world. I use a lot of his stuff from the ointments for the muscle aches and then stuff for the eczema, and that works out great. And of course, his drops are phenomenal. And watching Sean from where he was at a couple of years ago or whatever until now, all of his new flavors, it blows me away. And I'm very proud of you, brother, of making your business and blowing this up like crazy.
I appreciate that, man. I don't even feel I've blown up anything, man. This is just we're just getting started, bro. Yeah. This is just the beginning.
He's always busy, man. This guy is a hardworking man. He's always busy making his product. And
the way I look at it is it's all in its infancy, man. Yeah. And that's the beauty. We're in a great community with great people, and that's really what it is. It's not just me. I mean, I'm blessed because I'm supported by the community, who I in turn I support and have because I'm part of it, man. That's all it is, you know. So it's a beautiful thing, man. I appreciate I do want to thank all the people we work with, all the people we sponsor, because without you guys, we would be nothing. I mean, we would have some great products, but people wouldn't know that we are the best and it works the best. So I appreciate all you guys and everybody who's helped us along the way. So thank you to everybody out there.
And one thing Sean says often that I appreciate personally, because I'm a little bit on the side of what is this that I'm taking? I'm one of those guys. Wait a minute, I got to go to work tomorrow. CBD in itself is a hemp derivative, and it just gives you the feeling of your shoulders dropping. If you're tense, you're up here. You know, you kind of feel that sense that you can't calm down, and your shoulders just drop. That's it. It really isn't anything psychoactive or
unless you take the Delta 8. Actually, the CBN also, the calming effect one, CBN is known to have a slight psychoactive effect, but it is very good for sleep. But aside from those, anything else, you shouldn't feel anything like that.
Just chill.
Just relax.
You can work on it.
Yeah, very much like Dondo said. I always like to try to tell people the easiest way to describe it for me is when, you come up from work, your shoulders are tense, you're just up because, you're tense. You take the CBD, 15, 20 minutes later, your shoulders kind of drop and you just feel a sense of calm. Now, that's how subtle it is. You're not going to I just took CBD, I'm all tired. And it's not even like that. But you do feel that sense of calm, kind of feel the edge, kind of edge is lost, which is very important for a lot of people that are kind of ride the edge all day and are just, a little bit anxious.
Yeah, absolutely. So more about that on ourlifecbd.com. Obviously, you can DM any of us. We'll get you in touch with Sean. Save the Brave coming up very quickly here. Going to be in San Pedro at Six Blades Jiu-Jitsu, also known as San Pedro Fight Club. You'll catch us at headquarters doing the ritual that we normally do, which is the prelims. What do we call it?
The prelims, and then also on the same day as a Save the Brave. So if you're in Northern California, don't forget to stop by the Art Suave. So Art Suave is out there. They're going to be on the 28th, I believe, in Sacramento.
That's a cool
That's an
event,
amazing promotion. Great people. We've been working with them for a while. But just once again, the community is very strong, man. So I'm blessed to just be part of it.
You absolutely are. You absolutely are someone that gives back. So if anybody knows Sean, they know that he gives back. So more so than anybody I've ever met. So that's what it's all about. That's the foundation in which our life is built upon. It's from our life to yours. So, and he lives it. It'd be one thing to say it, but I think people know that. I bring it up as we're in a podcast situation right now, but it doesn't even need to be said. I think people acknowledge that, which is a wonderful thing. And the T-shirts, he's not wearing the one that I normally wear, but I do like this one. It's got the American flag, got the Our Life logo. Normally it's Jiu-Jitsu, Sleep, Repeat.
Yeah, we got it. We're gonna have a few new ones coming out here pretty soon too, and then hopefully it probably won't be before the end of the year, but I'd say the first quarter of next year we should have at least some plans and some dates for our tour. So we're thinking about redoing a tour, and a lot of people been asking about it and want to do it, but we probably will end up coupling the seminars and the tour with some type of event also that we'll end up traveling with the event, so we can do a tournament style tournaments and seminars. So
it's huge. And in fact, just to go over what that was, we went across the Southwest before, ending up Albuquerque, Santa Fe, El Paso.
Yeah,
Phoenix,
first we started in. Yeah, we went through everywhere. First we started in picked up some of the guys in San Diego. Then we went to Phoenix, Arizona, John Botello's, right?
Yep, yeah, John Boteo.
Then John Boteo, and then we went to Santa Fe, New Mexico, which was an amazing day there, where Ruben actually belted Jen and his brother. I won't forget that day. That was
it's unbelievable that Ruben and Jen Rivera invited us to take part in their belt ceremony, because we're all from different schools, but we're all family. And to see that take place, I mean, we've been to belt ceremonies ourselves, and this was a little bit more heartfelt, a little more deep, and a little bit more family than I've ever felt.
No, well, I mean,
a tearjerker.
Well, the other thing too, like we were saying, how often do you have a black belt that it's belting his wife, also belting his brother? So I think that's where the heartfelt emotion kind of came from.
And the guys he built it with were there, right?
Oh yeah,
the guys he built
Tate
that.
Fletcher,
Yes.
He was there. So
Luis.
Wheezy. Yeah, Wheezy, and then
Maria Rios, who's a New Mexico phenom. We all know that people out there love her. That's where she's from.
Yep.
She even attended, which
Gym
was
Crasher.
unreal. And a gym crasher. But I didn't know there was all that connection. We didn't know till we got there.
We didn't know till we got there, and then it was all one big circle.
And there was some crazy coffee too. What was that? Badass coffee? Is that what it was?
Caveman coffee.
Oh
there
my
you go.
God, out of
There,
control.
yeah.
I don't know who owns that, but it's part of that.
I
dojo.
believe it's Tate. Tate's
Tate has that?
associated with that.
My
yeah.
God.
Yeah, good
That is
stuff,
rocket
man.
fuel. The
Definitely.
opposite of what I need right now. I need to calm down.
Yeah, and then I believe the last last stop was El Paso with Chris Chavez. That
Right.
was an amazing trip.
Chewy.
It's Chewy. Always good to be up there with those guys, man. So I'm actually Chewy's going to be competing in Kevin Rosas and Chewy are going to be competing in at Budo Centro in Mexico City. So they're going to be going back up there with us in October.
October
so
4th.
Yep, October 4th. Well, the event is I believe it's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay.
But we're gonna go. I'm going the 4th to the 11th.
What is the venue that this takes place in? For Budo Centro?
There was a first venue, and then they switched venues for the second one. It is still a private event. The way it works in Mexico City right now is if you have a public event, it cannot be more than 2 hours. So they chose to keep it a private event. So there's no crowd there, but there's a nice VIP section with a lot of free drinks.
Whoa. Kind of like that.
Oh yeah, you
And not
can't,
to mention-
and not only that, but you get some nice tacos too. So
Whoa.
you can't go wrong.
And endless
Cannot
places
go
to eat
wrong.
there.
Oh, Mexico
Food
City
capital
is
of the world.
Mexico City is amazing. It's an amazing place to eat. Just amazing culture. What I was amazed about it is prior to me going, I was a little bit leery. I didn't know what to expect going to Mexico City, thinking about all what everybody here says all
Yeah.
the time.
Even though
Be
you look like you're
careful.
from there.
Yeah, around every corner there's a narco waiting to smoke you.
Oh.
Right. That's the thought process prior to
Oh.
going. But once I got there, it's very similar from my perspective to kind of LA, right? You got new people coming here. They go to Hollywood Boulevard thinking that it's Beverly Hills and they're going to see a bunch of stars. They realize it's the damn hood, right? So if you don't know where you're going, it can be a bad experience. I have been just blessed. I mentioned earlier, Angel Gomez from Top Brother. From the first time that we went out there, we were out there for 11 days. Every day he took us out to restaurants. He basically was our tour guide through the city, eating consistently. So
Love that.
I just feel blessed that we were able to see, see what the city is about and see that city from a different perspective. Seeing women, young ladies walking around 10, 11 o'clock at night, walking their dog down the street, which you wouldn't think that it's not really safe in some neighborhood, in a lot of neighborhoods here, much less being in Mexico City, and that is kind of the norm. So there are areas over there that are very...
It's like Irvine.
Honestly, man, I mean, it's beautiful. Cafes out there, just beautiful, beautiful place. And there are areas you just don't want to go, so you stay away from there.
And that's just like Orange County.
just like
Everywhere.
Just like every city pretty much in California, or pretty much in the States, right?
Anywhere
Yep.
in general.
You have good and bad areas.
That's
You just
good
got to
to
know
know.
where to go.
Good to know, man. And it sounds like you've planted some roots there, because this is going to be the third trip for Mexico City.
Yeah, third trip this year.
Your second home, dude.
Well, basically, they're gonna be doing 4 shows a year, and at this point, we're rocking with them, and we're gonna be doing how many ever shows they do, we're gonna be doing them with them. So.
The hotel he stays at is right across from Avenida Lerma.
Oh yeah, it is on my street.
Lerma Avenue, where he stays.
They built the hotel right next to my street.
It's kind of weird. It just happened, man. That's a divine intervention right there.
Yes. Well, there was some Adondo intervention there, so I think
but your old man got to see that. That's what's cool.
Yeah, that was also awesome, man. The last time we went there,
Got to bring your parents.
Yes. Last time we went back and I got to bring my parents. My dad had been to Mexico City when he was a kid. My mom had never been there. It was
wild.
really cool. They had a chance to go see the city, which is beautiful. Also had a really cool an opportunity to go meet with the Gianni's parents. One of our guys, Gianni Vasquez, over at Timo Yama, is one of our good friends. Had an opportunity to go out and eat with my parents, and his parents were able to go eat together. We all collectively had a meal, even though he wasn't there. Kind of celebrated that. So
that's a big deal to be with the parents, of a fighter.
No,
Shout
it
out
was
to
awesome.
Hustle, right? Out of Hustle BJJ.
Out of Hustle BJJ, and yeah,
Tacos Manuel.
Tacos Manuel, all of the above is represent guy.
That's what he does. That's Johnny in a nutshell.
No, Gianni's awesome, man. So, I just definitely feel blessed at this point with where we're at and where we're going, man. And the beautiful thing is just the beginning. We got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
So.
No. It's going outward and beyond.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? I agree. So, again, check him out, ourlifecbd.com. You know where to find Sean. He's on Instagram at ourlifecbd.
Yep, Instagram, ourlifecbd. You know what? If you guys if you guys haven't purchased a product before, you can use a promo code FIRST25. You can save 25% off your first purchase of any of these new products. And then also, like I said, please don't forget for the Save the Brave, go ahead and use the code OurLifeCBD and save 50%. So you'll pay $50 for a rash guard, food, and the registration for this event. You're never going to get something as good as that. And so tell everybody, and you're helping support a really good cause for the guys that went over there and risked their ass for us.
That's
so
a fact.
I just say thank you to them, and please support. Thank you.
And his professor, just so everybody knows, his one last point is Magno Almeida in Westminster, California. Gracie Gym, Westminster, California. It's one of the great places to get some rolls in, so check them out because they're right off the 22 freeway. Can't miss it.
See it from the freeway right across from the rinks.
Yep.
Great family environment. Magno's a phenomenal guy. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to train at a bunch of different places, but that's my home, and he's that gym is family.
I say this. There's a lot of buzz out there about jiu-jitsu gyms right now. This is a place that I personally recommend. Sean obviously speaks for it because it's his home, away from home. So, yeah, if you're looking for a spot for your kids, for your family, for yourself, Magno Almeida is a stand-up guy. Go in and shake hands with him, talk to him. You'll know what we're talking about firsthand. Yeah,
Gracie Gym OC. So if you're on the 22 freeway, if you see the rinks on the left or the right-hand side, depending on where you are, coming up on between Knott and Valley View or Bolsa Chica, it's right there. Feel free to stop by and say hi. Once again, great family environment. My kids started there first, then I started. So, great kids program, a great way to teach your kids respect and get them to build self-confidence and just be overall good human beings, man.
I like that. Jiu-jitsu, baby.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what it's all about. Hey, we got a segment coming on with the active shooter, Adam. And Joey the Bull. And they're going to talk fights. Adam likes to talk about the future of things in the UFC, the big events, Bellator, possibly PFL. Joey's going to talk about some stuff that he did over the weekend. Oh, yeah, bare knuckle boxing.
Oh, real quick before we
Right.
leave, too, I want to say shout out to Kyle Chambers and Ricky Lewell. Saw him over the weekend.
Right.
This past weekend, saw Ricky at a wrestling tournament. And shout out to Marina High School and the Dirty Goats. My son, Shane, was out there wrestling with the Dirty Goats on Saturday in San Diego. Did a really good job, so I want to thank them all. And you guys are badass.
Shane
Wrestling,
Lerma.
just wrestlers are freaking monsters. That's all I got to say.
That's a fact. Shane Lerma's a phenom.
Yeah, he
and a
will be.
handsome devil. He certainly is. I hope he sees this. I know his brother's going to see this and say, I got paid to say this, but no. You guys, come on.
All right.
We'll wrap this up. Thank you. Excuse me. You're up, nobody.
My favorite time of the week. That would be great for my photography business.
I don't know why he's wearing that hood over his head.
I don't know why.
A nice
I know.
hoodie.
Shout out to good old home gym,
Nice.
Subfighter MMA.
Yeah, shout out to that lady that left those marks.
Let's not talk about the cat fight I got into. And Robert, if you want to bring up the fights for me for this week,
Let's go ahead.
or no?
Well, geez, already.
Oh, I just got so excited by the card. My
I
bad.
used to get excited about your neck.
Jeez.
Anyway, let's talk about what happened this weekend. Friday Night Fighters Rep, man. And what a great show. Once again, a big shout out to George Francis for having us over there, representing Fighters Rep. It was just a great deal, man. I mean, did you enjoy most of the fights?
Oh, it was incredible. Like, some of the fights were really, really fun, especially getting to work as camera operator as well, getting like a really up close and personal look at just some of the fighters and their technique. And really, what really stood out to me that I enjoyed most of the event
Card girls.
was just, and this is any event that I go to really, but just getting to see, athletes who put their heart, their soul, their bodies on the line, who've, dieted for months, who've trained for months to finally showcase what they've been working on and just get the show out for their fans, their family, and just everyone that attended the event.
And the crowd was amazing. I mean, a lot of love, support for each fighter that came into that ring and just gave it hell. I mean, we even saw one fighter actually retire that night.
Two
Retired.
Two retirements.
And it was, what's that gentleman's name with the tattoos on his
Eddie
neck?
Jackson?
Eddie Jackson, yeah. He actually put up a good fight. He did his best. Of course, he
Came
didn't.
out to a majority draw.
Majority
against
draw.
Connor Bracken, an incredible kickboxer.
And they were both rock and rolling. I mean, just crazy. And then he said, you know what, I'm at this age. This is what I can do. And I'm pretty much, thank you, everybody. And he gave everybody so much
career.
love and much respect for him, big time. But the biggest knockout of that night, was it 7 seconds?
8.
8 seconds. Is from Anderson Silva's son.
Khalil Silva.
Dude, that was amazing. I mean, I just looked down real quick, and all I hear was, whoa, and I missed it.
I know, same here.
I'm like, what the hell did I miss? And I looked up, I'm like, get that. So I had to look at replays, and it was a straight kick to the face.
Yeah, it was a jumping switch.
It was
Straight
beautiful.
left.
It was beautiful.
It was something great. Like, you could tell, especially with that family, like, I really feel like sons of fighters have an extra bit of pressure every time they compete because you're always going to be in your father's shadow, especially if your father's the GOAT like Anderson Silva,
No,
who
yes.
really redefined just how we look at striking and martial arts and just even the aesthetics of it, really, just through the way he fought. It wasn't no longer this kind of blood sport where you see guys brawl a lot. You saw a lot more technical and a lot more just kind of the art within mixed martial arts when he started to compete, especially in the UFC. One thing that I feel like, especially fighters' sons, people are always going to compare you, even if your style is different, or
Of course.
even though it's your own journey, and you may have even been raised under a different coach or different philosophy or different system. But what's really great about both his sons, I really think they have all his intangibles and more, and are just going to be potentially even better, especially with the resources that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And his one son to just come out, no pressure, like just made it look easy. 8-second knockout.
Now, I wasn't there for the weigh-ins, but the other son was supposed to fight. What happened with that situation?
There's something that happened to his opponent where they had to pull out, I believe, either due to an injury or just some issue with the weight cut.
Okay.
Which, it happens. Hopefully they can reschedule, get him a fight, especially for, I believe he was fighting for an IKF Midwestern title.
Wow.
Or Mountain Region title or something similar of that kind of like area.
Yeah.
With the many kickboxing titles and boxing titles that are out there amongst promotions. But it was for an IKF title that wasn't, unfortunately, we couldn't find a replacement opponent in time. But hopefully we can see him come and compete soon.
Yeah, and it was great. We ran into a lot of great folks there from Bulletproof Troop. He was in the audience.
Jason Ellis.
Even Efren from Obi Kanu.
Like Escudero?
Yeah, he was there too. He showed a lot of love, and he was in the audience. He was going to buy me a drink, but I was just like, bro, if I take a drink, I'll be falling out. Because nowadays I can't drink like I used to.
I know, Slim Joey now.
Slim Jim all day. Okay, now, Saturday night, Fighters Rep. What an amazing show. Commerce Casino. Once again, a big shout out and love to everybody from Fighters Rep.
Also, too, before we forget,
we
can't forget Chris Cully's retirement.
Well, there you go.
He had an incredible fight with Justin Iron Man Moss that was just so exciting to watch, especially getting to be ringside for that as camera operator, to get an in-depth look, to listen to those guys hit each other. That was a crazy fight. There was a few times in the night where thank goodness I've trained head movement before, where I had a few punches coming across, flying outside of the ring.
I was about to ask you that because I noticed sometimes you were in that corner with that camera thinking, oh, man, he's going to get hit.
There was a couple of close calls, actually, where I think I was about, on the second fight of the night, actually, there was, I believe, either a left hook or a straight right that came 2 inches away from my temple because they were caught up in my corner, and I'm just trying to be on the side, getting the best angle that I can. And I'm like, thank goodness, I'm used to this. Like,
but what was
I've been
funny,
in this before.
what was funny about you, man? You were like, I got blood on my pants. I go, that's not the first time. But anyway, that was. I mean, honestly, you're gonna get hit with blood, sweat. It's gonna happen, especially your ringside. Next time, maybe wear a big old plastic tarp when you go to the
hazmat suit or something.
Hazmat suit or something. But anyway, great show. Thank you once again for George Francis for biting us out. We can't wait to do it again.
And thank you to all the fighters that came out and showed out. You put on an incredible show.
And also Saturday night, Spar Stars. Once again, thank you very much to the whole crew at Spar Stars. Had a great night. Also there with the one and only Adam Woods. He was there too, busting out interviews. I mean, action after action. I mean, it was bringing back the cage fighting back to Southern California was amazing in a big casino out there, in a Commerce Casino. And enjoying, seeing all of your folks that you have on this show, from all the different coaches, from Rage to Badger to everybody you think of that's been on this show that we interviewed in the past.
As well.
Chad George, and watching their teams, and it's hard to root for these guys because you're friends with all of them. Because you have Chad's team versus Badger, or you have Rage's team versus some whatever, and it was hard to be excited sometimes because you're like trying to root for this guy, but at the same time that's your boy over there training this kid.
Well, it's very anxiety filling once you start to have friends that compete.
Yeah.
And you have to watch them, and you may like both guys, but you have to be neutral and just pray everyone gets home safe.
Yeah, it was like watching one of my guys I was looking forward to was Mark Pacquiao, and of course, unfortunately, he didn't win his fight against was his name John Powell, I think, and great artist himself. And it's funny because
was really good.
The next couple of days later, I saw it on Instagram. They were both in the same gym, mopping up the floors, like talking like they were boys. So it was like, hey, a lot of love and respect there for both those guys, and hopefully we'll see a rematch if that ever happens.
Well, it's kind of like fighting's like a dance almost. Like even though in the moment you're trying to take each other's heads off and there's all this aggression and emotion, I feel like the after it's a very interesting bond where I've even got to sit on a few podcasts, like specifically I believe the Veterans podcast that we have on Fight Life Connoisseurs, where Free Love and Roman J. Gonzalez, who fought together, are just sitting there chopping it up. Yeah. And it's a very interesting thing to just watch how fighters almost become friends after they fight.
That's crazy. But like I said, once again, huge mad love for respect to Fighters Rep, Spar Stars. Once again, from Gym Crashers to us, we would like to thank you guys big time for having us involved in your guys' shows. Now let's talk about what's happening in the future with future fights. I mean, I hear just before we're talking about Anderson Silva getting ready to, I believe, fight Tito Ortiz. Is that fight happening?
Yes, it is. That fight is happening.
It's crazy.
And also too, getting to see Anderson at Fighters Rep, he's looking big.
Yeah,
I feel like he's prepping. I was a little bit worried for the size mismatch, but honestly, I like Anderson for that fight. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling. You know, I got to watch Tito's last performance against Chuck Liddell live. You know, and also too having a few friends who trained down in Ruvka, who've trained with Tito and got to corner him in that last fight.
Yeah.
My own kickboxing coach Moses Murrieta. You know, so older guy, but he still got it. I don't know though. I think the speed of Anderson, that style, is just going to be too much for Tito to overcome. He was never really, and I'm sure you can speak to this actually.
Well, it's
that
funny
he
you
was
say
the
that because
best boxer.
I show a lot of love for Tito. I mean, he's the guy I've been knowing like since back in '90. I would say, 96, 97, way back when he was just getting himself, wet in the UFC, and I still root for him regardless of win or lose. He's like the dude I always cheered for. Because he was always a bad boy, and him and I had the bleach hair going on at one time. I feel like I did it first before he did, but whatever.
These are a debate that will go on for the
rest of my time to the day I die.
clear record.
Of who had the bleach. But like I said, once again, much love to Tito Ortiz, man. I'm wishing you luck, brother. I mean, of course, Anderson Silva, love you too, brother.
I'm on the side for Anderson.
So I'm on the side for Tito. So
I met you. I said what's up to you and your sons. Like, go with Anderson. Skinny strikers stick together.
that's what I'm talking about. And those ground and pounding guys stick together too. So,
All right.
so what's happening? What's happening in the world of fighting?
Well, not to get too far off, we also want to mention it as well for celebrity boxing as well. We have Tyron Woodley taking on Jake Paul on August 29th. Not this Sunday, but the next Sunday upcoming.
That's gonna be
I
crazy.
think that's a crazy fight. I think Jake Paul is out of his mind. What are you thinking, young man? Get anybody else to box. Why would you take on a knockout artist and somebody who is known for having KO power, where he said, "Oh, I've never hit anyone full blast," and you're like, you were sending dudes across the cage with your natural God-given talent. What do you mean you've never hit somebody full power? And then the whole time too, you're talking all this crap and being, Mr. Internet troll guy, and it generates hype. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Jake Paul knows how to bring attention to anything he does. It's both Paul brothers do. Incredible marketers. Realize you're messing with an animal.
And it's funny because a lot of people are questioning Willie because of his age, and I get it. But you know what? I don't know if you've seen videos of him training. He's been training super hard. I think he's trying to prove his point that I'm not that old guy. I'm not the guy that always gets, tossed around the cage. I'm serious. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to knock his ass out. And I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to light him up pretty hard.
Go into most gyms. I dare you to try to find other 40-year-olds who look like Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
You aren't going to find him.
Yeah,
He's
and I'm
the
46.
genetic-
I don't look like him.
he's a genetic anomaly. That dude is still a world-class athlete in his 40s. And also, too, it's boxing. It's not MMA where you're taking all this load and you're taking all this damage to multiple different parts of your body. It's really, majority of the damage that I think happens to the boxers internally really is probably your ribs, your midsection, and your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a little bit of damage to the neck, but this is one fight. And he said he's wanted to get more into boxing. And we've seen him out there, too, with the money team, picking up things from legitimate camps. Tyron Woodley's in a real camp. I think Chael Sonnen brought up the best point about this, where I feel like with the Jake Paul's other two fights, they weren't really taking him seriously. Of like, oh, this kid, he doesn't know how to fight. He can't crack. Tyron Woodley's taking him, like seriously.
Yeah.
He's taking him like the kid can actually box, like a true amateur boxer taking on another amateur boxer. I'd say the skill level that they're at.
And I think the only way I probably build respect for the Paul brothers, unless they decide to switch the route and maybe step into a cage one time to see what they're really made of. I mean, the boxing is great. I mean, I love boxing. That's always been number one in my heart. But I like to see them one day actually step in the cage and maybe go against some of these guys that despise them. That they're like, a lot of these guys talk, they're like a big joke, whatever. But hopefully that'll happen one day.
Don't ruin the hype and your payday. Do not do that idea at all. It will be horrible for both of you Paul brothers. Do not step in the cage. Stick to the celebrity boxing. Stick to where you have at least a 1% chance of winning. It will not go well if you go in the
And that's
MMA
just my
cage
opinion.
against
That's
these
just-
guys.
Created a new genre.
They did.
Yeah.
They created a whole new venue and lifted boxing to a level it has not been in
Exactly.
2 decades, maybe 3.
Oh, boxing's been almost dead
Yeah.
for the past decade. It's been dying out.
It's quite a testimony to marketing, almost to the level of Conor McGregor.
I would
No
say
one
so.
has done that since.
No.
I would say it's about at the level of Conor McGregor. I'd say
90 million.
Yeah, minus 90 million. You know.
100 million.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
fair. That's fair.
Getting around 10, 20.
Yeah, but I don't know. With them Paul brothers, you don't know all those different chains of income. It's insane money and all that, and the amount of eyes.
Brings great viewership brings participation. Participation brings boxing
Yeah.
back to life.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think what's most important here, it's young eyes. That's the key
They didn't
thing.
know boxing was a sport.
Not even. Not even. You
Exactly.
know, when I try to talk boxing to people, oh my God.
What a beautiful thing.
It's been great. I get to talk boxing to like people who don't even understand it.
Yes, of course.
You know, and they get to be introduced to this thing.
And,
But don't take an MMA fight, Paul brothers, please.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. You're very opinion. I totally get that. You know, and then, like, I would like to give a big shout out to Alowski and Junior De Santos. They made their appearance this weekend at AEW. They're getting themselves involved in wrestling now. It's kind of amazing because I'm like, what the heck's going on here?
Andre Arlovsky's now pro wrestling?
He was in the ring with Junior De Santos, I guess, with was a team Wrestling USA, something like that, and they were in the ring getting ready to smash on some dudes. Now they're big part of that wrestling circuit. Now they're
That's cool.
slowly getting involved in that, so it's kind of crazy.
I wonder what's more tough on the body. Like, it's probably pro wrestling, I imagine. 'Cause
You know-
you got to take a lot of those bangs and crashes. And
You do, and you see
how do those guys just have full fight careers handle
You
that?
see it all that happen. I mean, you see it downstairs every Thursday night. They have training here, and you see some of these guys, you know, jumping off the ring into the mat on the floor. I don't know how they do it. I tried it one time in my life where I was in the Royal Rumble. I got thrown over some ropes. It took about 5 guys to throw me over. Hit the edge of the ring. I was okay, but the next day I was sore. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even move. But
I
once
feel
again,
like you're just signing up for Concussion City.
so yeah, I
Respect
did
to
it
those
one
guys.
time, and it was fun. But I'd rather stick to being a clown and being who I am. So there you go.
All right. And let's close this show out with my favorite segment and favorite thing to do of the week, my bloody knuckle breakdown for this great UFC card. If you want to bring the fights up for me, Robert, you know, kicking off this great card, a fight that's honestly my fight of the night, and I'm really surprised how low it is on the card, or in the main card at least. I think people should be way more hyped for this fight. A big one in terms of the flyweight rankings. You know, a division that doesn't get enough love with how much it's heating up lately, especially with the first Mexican-born champion in Brandon Moreno. You have Alexander Pantoja coming in at a minus 175 favorite, taking in Brandon Raw Dog Royval, who's coming in.
Raw dog. Raw dog.
And this is a great fight. You know, my big asterisk, otherwise I'd say Royval is a shoo-in for this fight, is just by the fact that he's coming off shoulder surgery. And he's got 2 screws, I believe, in his, I want to say his right shoulder. And he's been looking good. He's hitting pads. He's back to workouts. You know, he's a great heavy grappler, especially for 125. He's strong. He's going back and forth with Brandon Moreno, and we all know how good of a wrestler and grappler Brandon Moreno is. But Alexander Pantoja, I'd say behind Davison Figueiredo, is your go-to knockout artist for 125. So, you know, if Alexander Pantoja can do what he did against Manel Kape, where he can kind of keep in his face and make the fight his own and keep just kind of the rhythm going to one that suits Alexander Pantoja and doesn't get into the grappling stages with Royval, I think this is his fight all day. But the thing with Royval is the fact that, you know, even though he did have shoulder surgery, that grappling and the just incredible lineup of killers that he's faced to get to the point where he's at is something that can't be ignored. He's got a lot of experience, especially outside of the UFC. And also, too, he's a younger guy who's much hungrier, who's never been in that top 15. So I'm going with the underdog on this one with Royval. But either way, I think this is going to be the fight of the night.
You know what? I'll go for Royval myself. I mean, he gone through the surgery with his shoulder. He's going to prove his point. He's going to prove that, you know, the shoulder ain't going to hold me down. So he's going to make this guy tap out like crazy.
All right. And then moving on, we got Vince Pichelle coming in, well, at an even 110 favorite against Austin Hubbard. You know, Vince Pichelle is a little bit older. Your atypical kind of wrestle boxer style fighter. You know, 38, but with a whole lot of experience. But Austin Thud Hubbard, you know, he's faced very decent fighters, especially, you know, in his road to the UFC. It's been a little bit of a rocky start. You know, you could kind of see him struggle against fighters of Vince Pichelle's archetype in those kind of wrestle boxers, where really if you kind of put your head in Austin Hubbard's chest and grind it out with the guy, you're going to be able to get him out there. But He's really, really durable. He's kind of got that kind of Darren Elkins style durability where he can almost out cardio you with where I kind of could see Vince Pichelle could struggle. But I'm gonna take, I'm gonna go with styles. I really believe styles determine fights, and I'm going with Vince Pichelle on this one.
I do agree with you. I like the style. I like the style he has, and I'm guaranteed it's going to be probably a second rounder to me.
Second round.
Second rounder.
Second
yes.
round, Vince Pichelle.
Yes, sir.
I'm going unanimous decision wrestling grindout.
Wow.
And then moving on, we got Trevin Jones taking on. It's actually a new fight that was just added, taking on. We're gonna try my best. I'm gonna look down at the codes down here.
Can you do me a
We
favor
got-
and say I'm Cornholio?
Of course. All right. I'm going with, we're going to try our best.
Say it. Say it.
Sajio Cub Cam Ramanov, who's coming in a plus 125 underdog,
I can't even
taking
see
in
him. I need
Trevin
my
Jones,
glasses.
who's a minus
You gotta blow that
150
screen up.
favorite. Ramadov, who Dagestani style wrestler with some decent stand up. We have Trevin Jones, who's a good all well rounded fighter. I'm gonna go with the favorite on the American this one. I'm feeling the American. This is a little bit newer fight. I had to do a kind of quick study on this one, but I like the American.
Well, I'm going for the guy with the cool name. I'm going with the guy that his name is Kak
Taking
Ramadan.
Dagestani. All right. And then moving on, we got a pretty great heavyweight fight that I think is just going to be a little bit of your atypical heavyweight rock'em sock'em robot style, but who doesn't love those great heavyweight fights like that? We got Chase Sherman coming in a minus 200 favorite, taking in Parker Porter, who's coming in a minus 160 underdog, who's a guy who really gets underrated, especially on his way to the UFC. He wasn't a highly touted prospect despite having some decent wins against some decent regional competition. I'd say to best describe him, he's your atypical heavyweight with good wrestling but great overhands and decent power. Chase Sherman, since he's kind of left the UFC, I don't really think his game has changed very much. He's still, except that he's really added more volume. He's still going to be that kind of heavy, high-pressure volume heavyweight and really get in your face and use his big size and range. I'm going to take Chase Sherman on this one because I think he's going to be able to just out-grind him and have a little bit better cardio and just kind of pepper Parker Porter down. But either way, this is going to be a good fight because you're going to see some big boys going at it, throwing some big old gloves. Where you going, Joey?
Porter all day.
You taking the Parker?
Parker Porter.
All
Parker
right.
Porter.
I know. Trying to resist from making jokes.
I'm
And then
trying.
We got a lightweight co-main event.
Peanut butter.
We have,
Pick a pepper.
Mark Madsen, the silver medalist, coming in a minus 170 favorite, taking on Clay Guida.
Oh, come on.
The carpenter who's been at it, since damn near the start of the Ultimate Fighter in the UFC.
Love that guy.
Taking on Diago.
Guida has ties to your school, son.
Oh, I did not know this, actually.
Early sub fighter, Apex guys.
Oh, wow. Apparently, also, too, as I just came to realize, Clay Guida has some ties to some of the origins of my school from Apex, and where, now I think about it, makes sense for his style. Those are some hard-nosed guys. Those are, oh, yeah. Well, although, I'm going to be rooting for Clay Guida, who is still coming in at the, plus 140 underdog, who I still think can get the job done. Either way, it's going to be, it's not a bad bet to take. But I don't know. You can't beat a silver medalist in Mark Madsen. That's an Olympic-level wrestler who's looked great and who's had a little bit of time off since his last fight, which I think only plays into his favor and really kind of adds some more tools to his MMA, game overall because he's not very experienced in MMA, even though being a lifelong combat sports practitioner. Clay Guida, although he's 39, he's still out there, still swinging bombs, still having
good.
great fights, still going back and forth with some of these young guns. But I'm taking the silver medalist on this one.
Oh, man. I'm going for the burping champ right there.
Going for the burping carpenter.
Yeah, because, I love every time you see him in the ring. He's always burping. He's getting his face smacked before goes in that. He gets crazy. He gets wild like the big old jungle boy he is. I'm going for Clay all day.
Incredible fisherman as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, I
Does-
believe Clay Guida has said that he pretty much, his fighting pays for his fishing business. In very interesting way to start a business.
Now when he
Cage
fishes,
fighting.
does he use a fishing pole or does he just dip his head in the water and go, and he comes out with the fish in his
I
mouth?
think both, honestly.
I
Like, the
can
man
picture
is a
that.
literal bear. I think he could easily catch a fish
With his mouth.
With how fast he moves. Moving on to this great main event, we have Jared Cannonier, who's coming in a -165 favorite, who's taking on a great underdog in KG Kelvin Gastelum, who's coming in a +135 underdog from King's MMA. Kelvin Gastelum is an incredible fighter who's shown nothing but great potential and had some of, nothing but exciting fights really in the UFC. But one thing, even though he is the younger guy, that worries me with Kelvin Gastelum, he's kind of one of those fighters that, I feel like when he sits down, he's just like, ugh, from all the wars that he's been in. And you could really see just all the mileage and damage that he's taken.
Mhm.
That's why you kind of see him almost have a style change in his last fight, where he really utilizes his strength of wrestling and his speed and just kind of his intangibles to make sure he doesn't take so much damage like he needs to. We've seen Kelvin Gastelum take head kicks, power punches, have those rock 'em, sock 'em, back and forth, exciting fights, which is why we love to watch the guy, and he has such a great fan base. But also, too, we know that all of that takes a toll on the body, especially when you're not a bigger middleweight.
Mhm.
He's taking hits from guys who potentially outweigh him at times and have the size advantage on him. And even though Kelvin Gastelum has proven he has durability, he's never been knocked out in the UFC, that's not a game you want to play with a guy like Jared Cannonier. Although we didn't get to see the best of Cannonier versus Robert Whittaker, and I would love to see that fight, if Cannonier didn't break his arm within the first round,
Mhm.
because we know what he can do and how dangerous he is, and that he's a knockout artist at really any weight class, considering he's fought from middleweight to heavyweight. I still like Kelvin Gastelum, and I think the speed is going to be the big difference in this fight. If he can keep the fight at his pace and really utilize, the fact that he's a little bit of a shorter heavyweight but has that speed advantage, and then utilize the wrestling and the grappling advantage he'll have against Cannonier and not get into a rock and sock and robot battle and a back and forth exchange with Cannonier, I think this is KG's fight all day. So I'm taking the underdog in this one.
Yep, going Kelvin.
Going KG.
Yes, sir.
Alright,
All
I'll take
day.
that bet.
So, any plans for this weekend, brother?
Just honestly, probably find a good restaurant to sit down and watch the fights.
It must be a little cold right now. It's a little cold in the studio.
Just a little bit.
You
Just a
know.
little bit, Joey.
Once again, this has been another great show of the Gym Crashers. Once again, thanks and much love to Sean from Our Life CBD in the house. Once again, big shout out to Dondo in the house. And, of course, our boy right here, Adam Araby, the man, the legend, the guy that likes wearing hoods nowadays for some reason.
Something.
And, of course, a big shout out to Robert, our producer, and myself, Joey the Bull Santana. We'll catch you next week. Peace out.